Welcome back to our Universal Canon of Literature series, in which today we're going to discuss that great tome by the Danish physicist Niels Bohr called the Book of the Atomic Nature of Things. It has undergone many different translations, but it is known as the Book of Atomic Science. Niels Bohr was the father of modern laboratory nuclear physics. Back in his day, they referred to nuclear physicists as atomic physicists. However, with Niels Bohr, there was poetic justice to this title, because Niels Bohr is responsible for being the sole mapper, providing the map or model of the atom. Now, before Niels Bohr, there was Rutherford, the great British physicist, who, relying upon the earlier writings of such as Maxwell Planck and Clerk Maxwell and others, posited the theory of the atom, which he drew upon in classical precedent from the much, much earlier writings going back thousands of years ago to one Democritus of Athens, whose writings were later poeticized by a chap by the name of Lucretius, who in his Nature of Things went a little overboard in saying that all of reality, there is no spiritual reality, there's only physical reality, and everything is made of these atoms. Now, the word atomos in Greek means the indivisible. Hence, Democritus appropriately named these entities. Now, these entities, each of which would soon, in the 20th century that is, be mapped by Niels Bohr. Before I proceed, there's an interesting story about Niels Bohr, that he was one of two scientists, actually one of two scholars. He was a scientist, the other one was a scholar, who was rescued by the American Allied Forces in a special ops operation around, 1942, 1943. Long story short, this nameless Jewish scholar was permitted to immigrate to the United States, whereupon he became a great luminary among Jewish thinkers, and Niels Bohr. So to recap, the U.S. military basically discovered that, hey, we've got two incredible brains in this area that we're going to liberate. Let's go ahead and liberate them. Niels Bohr was one of them. Thank God. Or as Lucretius would have denied, thank the gods, because Lucretius denied the existence of the gods or of any type of divinity. We, within the Judeo-Christian heritage, would ascribe all such thanks to a single source, known by the Neoplatonists as the One, which within the annals of the Bible, of the Judeo-Christian and later the Muslim heritage, would refer to as the one singular God. But this presentation not being a theological treatise, let's move on with the life and work of Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr, adhering to the earlier works, as I said, of those chaps, but in addition to which he was vindicated by a certain Albert Einstein, who needs no introduction, no explication. It's obvious. All I'm going to say in this presentation is that Niels Bohr's wondrous work, the Book of Atomic Structure, would culminate in the labors and findings of our own superparticle colliders, which back in the 1950s were called atom smashers. Today we call them superparticle colliders. The most celebrated of which is at CERN, and there's supposed to be another one somewhere in Texas, my home state, by the way. Okay, so that concludes this presentation. Niels Bohr, go check him out. Go check out that wonderful book, the Book of Atomic Structure. Thank you. Join us again as we pull from the bookshelf yet another title worthy of inclusion in a universal canon of literature. Shalom.